document information, intranet network from their personal mobile device. So something strange is going on. There's all kinds of mobile devices. Look at this room. Everybody's sporting an iPad. And you go to Europe, you just saw the Apple blew out the earnings. There's a revolution underway when people are adopting this consumerization of the IT. Everybody wants to bring their own personal favorite device, and they say, well, email was great. What else can I do with it? This creates a lot of sleepless nights for CIOs and security-minded departments because these devices are not locked down by IT. All kind of challenges come to play from what is rogue agents are going to travel from this personal mobile device, which I don't have root privilege on, to my network. So how do you handle this BYOD tsunami which is coming our way? So the best ideas we had so far was, all right, we'll lock down the device, MDM. That's it. We're going to erase everything if the device is compromised. Well, that's a little bit too late because if they have a device, it's not about the device, it's about the data. If device is being backed up to iCloud or it's being, you're cutting and pasting stuff, this is all the data is already leaking. So you have to think through more carefully. And a lot of time employees don't report a stolen device because they know it's going to be wiped. Their wedding pictures and the picture of their dog will be erased. So they say, we'll find it soon. So they don't do that. That's against the whole premise of securing the data. Then the best idea we had about connectivity is mobile VPN. VPN worked great when you lock down the both end of the pipe. But I don't have root privilege on my personal iPad. I can install anything willy-nilly, and I do. And anything that could ping back to the network. So that's not sufficient. Even some people have tried other approaches. None of them have really worked out. We think you have to look at a comprehensive end-to-end approach to enterprise mobility, which means not having to make exception for authentication. How do you authenticate and log into your network today? Should be able to support same smart cards or digital certificates or single sign-on or Kerberos. You should be able to do that. And not just that, then worry about data security at rest and in transit. Just relying on encryption, which is on the devices, is not the same. Even if some people say, well, Android is the problem, well, iOS we are okay with. You're not okay with. All the keys are at the device level. Somebody gets the device, they got the keys. So there's more to the story here. And what about data in transit? So you have to worry about not be able to provide those links, and then you want to control the corporate data. You do want to be able to wipe it, lock it, geofence it, the data, not the device. And once you have done this infrastructure, you can securely get your data. The next thing now is to be able to run applications, mobile apps. And apps comes in different size. Some of them are HTML5 apps. You may have written your main native apps. Or there are a lot of customized legacy applications you wish you could mobilize. So the right solution has to address all of them. So you see some vendors address partial one or two things. We are the only company which is addressing an end-to-end all four aspects. So this is a new way of looking at enterprise mobility altogether. So the solution looks something like this. You have a server on the DMZ which can access the corporate intranet. That's the only point of entry. You have a container on the mobile device, and it's cross-platform, Windows, BlackBerry, iOS, and Android. And we create an app tunnel, which is riding on top of the VPN connection. It's an app-level tunnel layer 7. So what happens in the container stays in the container. It doesn't goes over. And then you have an admin control panel, which gives you full control to apply security policy to the container. Not to the device, but to the container. You can remotely lock it, wipe it, insert new applications for employees to run. You know what we have all kind of statistic report, geofence them, time-based access them. So this is an example how some technology like that would be used. You get an email pointing to some public sites, you click it, it directly takes you to the browser on the device. But later on, it points to a confidential document, perhaps a SharePoint document, which is locked inside your intranet. Today, you try to access that from a Starbucks, you get page not found or error 404. With our technology, it will automatically open the container, ask you to authenticate with the same Active Directory credential, will follow the Kerberos and do a single sign-on. You will be able to browse that document or any other document in your file system securely. No email attachment, no data leakage. So the company, basically anybody doing a BYOD, we are a good solution. If you have NTLM or Kerberos single sign-on, we may be the only solution. And if you're especially using smart card or digital certificate, we have a patent on that. That is our strong suit. There is no other solution which can compete with us. We have already deployed at Exxon, Chevron, and some of the large companies. There's several other companies. We're in the proof of concept in the deployment phases. Monthly pricing is simple, $10 per user per month, and it goes down for a very large deployment all the way down to $3 per user per month. You can have it on the cloud or on premise. Most of customers choose on premise. This gun to your head, you must move to cloud, remove the gun. You don't have to. You can access through the premise if you have the right technology and the infrastructure. It's my 6th startup. I've been around the block. One of the companies went public. Ali, my co-founder, he has been doing it for many years as well. We're located right here, have Series A raised, and we're here to talk to companies who have BYOD initiatives, such as the judges, as well as partnership with other suitable companies who want to go to market.
Hate to cut you off, Naeem, but
I'm
your
done.
6 minutes is up.
I'm done.
Amazing how fast 6 minutes goes. Just as a reminder, pay really close attention because at the end of this round, you're going to be asked to cast your own vote using your phones through a text mechanism. There it is right there, the mobile access round. Oh, took it down. So you'll be texting, and you'll be texting Bitzer if you're going to be voting for Naeem and his company. So, boy, tall claim there. We're the only ones to do those 4 things, especially when you have 3 presenters in the category coming after you. So, and I don't just mean coming after you in order, but they're going to be coming after you.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Yeah.
So, Alan, what do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely a problem that hasn't been solved. In the end of the day, I've looked at probably a dozen companies that are doing the same thing. So it gets down to the proof in the pudding, and can you really solve the problems? And the dozen I've looked at haven't solved the problems for iOS yet.
Art?
I think it's interesting. We'd be looking to figure out how it would tie into a lot of our other policy infrastructure so we don't have another system to maintain.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of issues around asset rendering and visual fidelity on the iOS devices. So a lot of the things that I cater to, I assume security is mandatory, but there's a lot of things around the user experience that I'm also very much gravitating towards.
When you say asset rendering, you mean documents, what?
How open office and other things kind of hammer like a PowerPoint when it comes in. We have to convert a lot of things to PDFs to get the correct visual rendering as built on another platform.
Yeah, that's a problem we do solve. So of course, the 6 minute can't tell you all the detail, but exactly, we should talk more about that. That's one of the biggest use case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe we can follow up with a couple questions, because one of the things that I'd like to get a better idea on is you talked a lot about like MDM and some of the other things that you're better than. Is it part of the go-to-market strategy that you're going to replace all of those, or in our infrastructure are we still going to have VPN and MDM, et cetera, and your tool on top of it?
Yeah, I think initially you will have them side by side. Today we sit next to an MDM often and integrate with MDM even, because people have, all the problems have not been solved. Over the years, you will see that it's not about the device. Device is the body. We care about the soul. Data is the soul. So you manage the soul, body will take care of itself. So today, yes, it is MDM we sit next to it, because you have to be able to insert profiles and manage profiles. But as our technology becomes more richer, you will ask yourself, why do I need an MDM? Because I really care about not the device, I care about the data, and I can do everything through the container.
So if that's part of the strategy, then part of your challenge might be on your pricing model, because part of what we see is everybody is going out and trying to attack a little piece of this, and as they attack a little piece of this, they want a fee for that. And so when we add up all these little fees, it starts adding up on a per user basis. So you're paying for single sign-on, you're paying for VPN, you're paying for MDM, you're paying for this, and it starts adding up over and over. Just based on what I saw in the price model, I think it'd be really tough as I compare your pricing to what I'm paying for other services that are similar.
So even today, just today, other than MDM, everything else you can begin to remove from the list. So people who have deployed us have gone through the same calculation, and they've come to realize that there are several things they don't have to stop, they can stop paying for. And I think as a technology, I mean, it's hard for me to a startup to claim that we can replace all of them. But another 6 to 12 months, even more things will be lifted from the list, and we'll have a end-to-end solution. But already, even today, things you mentioned, a couple of those things would be removed if you install our solution.
So an example would be like management, you know, as far as how do we manage your particular application?
Yeah.
So we've already got MDM managing the overall devices. You know, how will that link into managing single sign-on,
Yeah.
managing MDM, managing your devices?
So it's much simpler than that, and most of our installations are like a couple of hours, and people are up and running. It's designed to be very scalable. So it's a longer conversation that this may allow, but I will show you that how we can spawn for you to a play area, and you can start playing with it this afternoon. And the decision to integrate backend is a very few touch points. So a longer conversation than may permit it will show you that it is designed to be for this thing. How could we do it without any professional services organization? How could this be scaled, because our vision is to scale it, you know, worldwide. So it is, from day one, was architected to for scalability and minimum touch points between the different pieces.
Guys, must have some questions.
Audience questions?
Yeah, I would, in my environment, I still need MDM because it's the vehicle that, for me, that delivers access, because in international, I have to get off 3G as fast as possible and get onto, you know, my enterprise Wi-Fi. So I need MDM always as a connectivity point, because the international market is so expensive for roaming.
And that's why we said, you know, today we're integrating with 2 or 3 MDM players already for the similar reason. But over the years, you'll see less reliance on that.
So is there plans to get to a single management console?
There is a single management console today, and right now, if you have our solution, that's all you need. If you already have an MDM deployed, we are invoked from within them, or could be subservient on a service layer underneath them. So already it's integrated with the MDM console, but over the years, like I said, there'll be less reliance on the body. It's more about the soul. Then our console will be the one you will drive everything from. You can enforce security policy. You can look at all users worldwide. You can give different things to this group and take away app from this group. You can geofence these people. You cannot, you work in California and Texas. What are you accessing from Philippines? You can do those things today. You can have usage statistics, who used, where did they use. This guy's telecommutes from Alabama. He hasn't logged in 4 days. What's going on there? So you'll be able to, can see that today, all that management statistics usage.
You guys have there's a studio component. So how does that work? Because you were describing it to me yesterday. I thought it was fairly innovative.
Right, so studio, the thing is that the mention I briefly, that a lot of people are writing mobile apps, but this is not the core competence of many companies in the world. They wish they have spent 10 years, 20 years customizing a application, SAP, Oracle, whatever for them. Can they mobilize that data? So we have this template-based approach. We have a patent on this. We simply, in a studio thing, you can drag and drop the fields you want to mobilize. And we virtualize the data. And those then become instant mobile apps in all of these platforms which we support.
So what we're talking about here is if it's not a web app, because web apps works fine behind firewall, you got a browser.
Windows apps, some really legacy.
Win apps, anything else that is
something written in Fortran, perhaps. As long as we can get to the data, we can mobilize the data, virtualize and mobilize the data. It fits into one of our several dozen template, becomes an instant mobile app. So you don't have to go write it. See, writing a mobile app is a tall order because you've got to get all the business logic identical. Maybe you can, maybe you can't, because this has been customized over 10 years. So this way is a thin client approach. Data is still running on your Fortran-based mainframe, but we can get to the data, we can virtualize it, and it becomes an instant mobile app on your thing. This is very powerful because there is tens of thousands of legacy applications which can now be mobilized with our approach.
Are there disconnected or offline capabilities?
Yes, yeah, has to be. So, and it's again security policy. You can decide for this application, no offline allowed, you must be connected, but with this, and this, offline is okay. For example, corporate directory is a good one that, keep your last 200 contacts offline mode. Your expense report, you can do them in the airplane, but it's a sync engine which will reconnect.
And is there a policy way that you can do an open with native apps that are on the platform itself?
Yes.